Welcome to Hacking Business Technology. Welcome to Hacking Business Technology, the podcast that is everything that's relevant about ITSM, IT, HR, enterprise service management, everything all rolled into one. It's really just about hacking business technology, as the name suggests. Welcome to our hosts. We've got everyone in the hangout today. So welcome Farah, welcome Mark Kawasaki, Matt Hooper. And our guest today is Mr. Joel Pomales. Joel, welcome.
It's all good.
Hey, Joel. So those of you who don't know Joel, you probably aren't on Google+. He is the #1 curator on Google+, especially in the ITSM community. That's my opinion.
Oh, stop it. You're making me blush.
But no, really, great Linux and Android aficionado. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, definitely check him out on Google+. Tons of great content, always willing to help, and we appreciate that. So let's get started. What's going on in the world?
Well, there's this little thing called the World Cup. You know, that's what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's on that?
That's, absolutely melting the social media and social sphere. I mean, my feeds are just crazy. It's about yesterday.
Yeah, there's tons of content out there. We were talking about beforehand how it doesn't seem like there's as many takedowns on YouTube as there are for the NFL or MLB.
Not really. You can still find it on, and at least here in the States we can. You know, I was streaming ESPN yesterday on my Chromecast here in the office, and it's kind of very magical, very cool. I like the way that they're doing this, as opposed to the Olympics, which was for me very restrictive last year. You know, in terms of the content. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah, it's not as organic as it is in the football world. So, Joel, tell us about yourself. I know that you were with Maryville for a while. What are you doing these days professionally?
So I recently joined a company a couple of weeks ago that they basically wanted me back. The managed service provider, and they want to build the ITSM practice, and they brought me back to help them. So I've been doing a whole lot of stuff. I've been doing IT support, something that I didn't do for the last 10, 12 years. So I've turned to a help desk here. Yeah, but I'm happy to help. It's good.
So that's kind of interesting. You're building. They need help building an ITSM practice. So how does one in this day and age now say we have an opportunity to build an ITSM practice? What the heck does that look like?
Well, that's precisely what I'm working towards, to make it and shape it the way that we want to build it. Right now, it's for us. It's at least there was something before. We just want to expand it and make sure that it grows organically with the company. So right now, I want to say it's aspiration more than a direction. Okay, we're building it. We're going there. Couple of things. We want to work with our customers and of course get the client work done. But we want to bring people in, help them get certified, get professional, and collect our knowledge, which is very important. And actually pretty cool, very exciting. I'm very happy.
So what does certified in knowledge around an ITSM practice mean today? I mean, 7 years ago that was get a bunch of people ITIL certified, but I don't know that that's a good business strategy today.
No, well, for us it's that we're going to bring them also others to have them certified in other things as well. COVID, I have a slide somewhere. COVID, ITIL, ISO 20000. That's going to be a big part for our future, because I come from a project which was very heavy on the ISO 20000 thing, and we want to achieve that here, and that's going to hopefully provide a differentiator for us as we go to market, being ISO 20000 certified. It's a lot of work.
So that is one of the objectives of the project, is to be ISO 20K?
Eventually. Okay. It's not going to be immediate, so what what I've experienced with ISO 20000 is that it's not a 6-week project. It takes months. It may take years for you to get ISO 20000. It's a lot of work in the front, but once you have that certification, then everything moves a little bit more organically through the organization. And the organization I come from, it was amazing the way that it was ingrained in the way that people operated and worked. It was amazing. You know, the whole cultural change that we keep talking about in ITIL and ITSM, it worked with ISO 20000. It was kind of weird in a cool, good way. Everything just flowed. Amazing.
Joel, what about, so I mean, I want to thank you for your Google Plus presence as well. It means a lot to me. I know that you've been a good example for me on how to do it right and how to share properly and be able to engage the community. How do you think that's affected you personally in your transitions or in your professional life, personal life? What has it given to you being out there and engaging with people?
Oh, I want to say the first thing is when you meet me personally, I consider myself at least an introvert. But the being on Google and sharing and having all of these views and all the people has helped me, you know, at least in the screen that is this and the screen that we present in the world, it has helped me a lot. I've had a lot of support from a lot of people. I've met a great deal of people. I've learned a lot, and I think I've tried to teach people too. Sometimes, you know, it's been great. It's been a good thing. I choose my posts very, very wisely. I want to say, the majority of times, I have my outliers here and there. But otherwise, you know, I've had a great time just sharing and posting and doing things on social media, especially in Google Plus, which is a platform that I really like over the others. But it's been great. I've had a lot of support, lots of support.
So on that note, with you being such a great curator of knowledge and sharing out there and really leveraging Google Plus and that platform, I think, you know, a lot of users you might feel overwhelmed or don't know really quite where to begin. What would be your, you know, if you could offer up advice on some small steps that people can take just to build their digital, you know, platform and grow their digital knowledge base, if you will, through these outlets? What would it be?
I think that you have to have the mentality that it's okay to be open. It's okay to share. You know, you want to share wisely, but you have to know yourself. You have to know what moves you. What is your passion? You know, what you want to talk about, and know it relatively well. You know, you want to be intelligent, you want to be smart about that. You just want to share stuff just because. Which is something I don't do. I don't share. I have a lot of streams of information. I don't overshare. At least I think I don't. Nobody has told me anything about that. but I mean, and the other thing is also be mindful of where do you want to share. You know, you want to keep your channels tightly packed, and you know, I tend to share a lot. Publicly in Google, but there's a whole lot of stuff that I don't. Of course, nobody cares about the other stuff. It's, you know, you have to have a mentality, an open mentality. You have to think about the other. What will my users like about what I post? So that's what I do. You know, if it's offensive, if I think it offends someone, which I do this a lot. Sometimes I have an article in front of me, and I'm like, well, this might offend someone. And I noticed that. I don't share it, period. I just don't go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you do it in Spanish, because then no one can...
Not even in Spanish, because if you go to Google and if there's someone posts something in another language, there's a translate link right there.
It's true.
and Google can translate that for you.
Yeah, it'd be
And
nice. It'd be
sometimes,
nice if they could translate your response back to that native language too. You know what I'm saying?
but that's the thing. Sometimes the translation is not perfect.
No, it never is. Of course.
And if you're like me, that you speak two languages, sometimes I have to be really careful about the things I say, because yes, and my words can get taken out of context, so I need to be very, very careful, especially when I'm not being nice.
Yeah.
Have you ever actually checked to see what the translation Google is giving on what you're saying before you post it?
Sometimes.
That's really interesting.
That's a good idea.
I mean, you can do that. I'm comfortable enough in English to know how to construct stuff in English and how it comes in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, sometimes I will just go double check my words and it's like, okay, yeah, this is nice. Go.
So what are the personal drivers for you, Joel? Because you dedicated a fair amount of time towards broadcasting. What's in it for you? Why do it? What's your personal win in all of this?
I have fun. I want to say a limited number of passions in life. ITIL is one of them. ITIL, ITSM, the whole industry, COVID, all of that. It's one of them. I have open source. I like Linux. I like Windows. The whole Android thing. So I have a very limited number of things that move me every day, and that's what I like to talk about in my stream. It's a passion. But your passions. Football is another one. European. Yeah, but sometimes, at least here, the people here in the States, they don't care about that, or at least some of them.
I'm cheering for Ghana. I'm cheering for Ghana.
They should do well. I'm rooting for them as well, but they are in a hard group. Anyway, but yeah, it's about passion. When you're passionate about something, what's the saying? When you work for something you love, it's not work.
When you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Right, but that's the thing. For me, posting and sharing stuff in Google Plus and engaging people, it's something enjoyable. It's not work. It's fun. They can't pay me for this. If someone were to pay me, they can't. This is something I do for me.
If they paid you, they'd kill your passion.
Yes, possibly. Except the whole ITIL ITSM thing. Of course, I'm paid for my work, but I won't pay, and I won't work for free. But it's something I like. I don't see myself going elsewhere in the next 10, 15 years. Maybe when I retire, I'll do something else. But I like this. This is what I like. It drives me. I wake up every morning and I come to work because I like it.
And so in curating all this stuff, where do you think ITSM, ITIL, COBIT are going? What's your future thoughts with this new agile business world we live in?
There's always going to be a place for it. But I think that, personally, the whole emphasis on having processes and all of these things built will dilute itself into the woodwork by experienced practitioners. Like the comment I made to you earlier about the ISO 20000 thing, when you're doing it in a certain way, it becomes transparent in the organization, and people don't even notice that they're doing it because the outcome is different. Like for example, in the project that I was in for ISO 20000, they've been doing that for so long. It was ingrained in their culture. They don't even think about doing capacity management, for example. They just did it. The improvement plans, the CAB meetings were very organic, very natural, very short. I have to say that, very, very short. Everything was documented, but it was something that everyone did because it was in their nature to do it. They achieved a culture of change through the certification. And when you do that, when you are able to do that, then it becomes transparent. the whole emphasis of being ITIL compliant or ITIL. What's the other term that people use?
Doing ITIL.
Doing ITIL. That's no. You're not. The objective. Yeah, doing ITIL. The neat thing.
ITIL project.
Yeah. The neat thing about the ISO 20000 certification is that you strive to maintain the certification to a very narrow scope, preferably to a very narrow scope. When you do that and you're aware of the scope, everything else just becomes noise. If it's not a scope, you're not doing it. And it's okay. You recognize it as a risk, or you recognize it as a third-party thing over there, but it's noise. It just becomes something that you don't manage. You are managing your scope, which, if you think about it, is managing an outcome, delivering a service. And everything else that resides within the scope becomes the things you care about. Because you have to, for the certification, you have to do all the processes within the certification.
Wow,
Yeah.
Joe, you were the first person to actually make me want to learn more about ISO 20000.
I'm telling you, it's something. It's a lot of work in the front, but once you establish it, and if you have a good defined narrow scope, and I mean, I want to say narrow. That's probably too limiting. I want to say just right.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be just right for what you want to deliver. So, for example, in the project I was in, the scope was, and I'm paraphrasing, we are going to provide service desk services to XXX, which is a government military thing. I don't want them targeting me with drones for that. I'm not going to go there. But the scope of the service was that narrow. We are providing service desk users to our service desk services to our users. So think about what that entails. Mostly, and it's very easy. People. Providing service desk services is about managing people that deliver the service.
Mm-hmm.
So our remedy tool wasn't managed by us. It was managed by someone else. We didn't care about that. If the tool went down hard or was otherwise unavailable, we recognize it as a risk, but we don't manage that.
Yeah.
Our desktops were managed by someone else entirely.
I like that.
Yeah, if we had any problem with our desktops in the service desk, not our problem. It could affect our ability to deliver the service, and it was recognized as such. But it's something that we didn't care about in terms of the certification. We cared about our phones. We cared about the display boards that display the status of the services in front. That's about it. Our CMP was right this big. Our entire TV.
Yeah. It was fit for purpose. I mean, if your goal is to just provide service desk services, yeah, your delivery of service shouldn't be dependent on a tool.
Right. I mean, it was capacity. So if you think about the processes, capacity, availability, capacity, at least those two, are all around people and the ability of having the right people there to deliver the service. That's it.
Yeah.
And you manage it. So if you think about the process design relative to managing people, the process is not that complicated. It becomes very easy to manage. Same for change. Same for release management. We had a process because we have to have it documented. But since we didn't manage software, it's there. So it was really very interesting. That was the big learning thing in the past year for me, was the whole ISO 20000 thing, and I'm hooked. I'm like, that's going to be the next great thing.
Someone once described to me that ITIL says you should be doing it this way, and ISO 20000 says that you will do it this way. Is that accurate? Is that the difference?
Pretty much. So, for example, in the standard, when it talks about incident management, it says, and I'm paraphrasing again, you should have a categorization model for all your incidents. Period. It doesn't tell you how. It doesn't give you a recommendation. It tells you you will have this. That's it. And you design it the way you want to design it, but you will have it.
Okay, I like that. It seems more prescriptive, it seems a lot easier.
So another good one. It says all CAP meetings shall have an agenda, and they shall have meeting minutes. It doesn't care how you do it, as long as you have it.
Yeah.
And you go to the audit, and the auditor says, "Can you show me the evidence for this? For this CAP meeting, what happened here? You better have it, because if not, you're going to fail the audit."
Yeah.
So,
I like that. It's a lot more cut and dry. Fantastic. All right, that's episode 6. Thanks for joining Hacking Business Technology. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Joel.
Thanks, Joel.
take care.